Hey, how's it going? Hold on a second, I gotta turn off this music I might get in trouble for having on. Fuck. Shut the fuck up. Okay, this is the second time I'm trying to do this, and I've been fighting off anger and irritation for hours over what I want to talk to you about, but I got rolling and I felt like I was in a good place, like it started off well, and my camera just shut off. So I don't know if it didn't, like I was talking about God, and I don't know, maybe God didn't like what I was saying, so I'm going to try it again, because the camera, the storage is fine. That's usually what kicks me off of a reading. So, starting over. Here, look at some signs. Okay. So what I had said, I will just repeat now. I have learned how to manifest. I have become a master manifester. And the manifestation that I created came about because I learned the key is specificity, and also being in the right mindset, and your vibration has to line up with the object of your desire. If it's a person or a career or whatever it is, you have to be in frequency alignment, and the other conditions, or it's just not going to come to be. So there is a TV personality, and I've been watching them for years, and it wasn't like I always had feelings for this person. And I did get to see them like change and develop for the better over the years, and I love that. And they're an inspiration because of what they were able to manifest for themselves. But I manifested for that person to come into my life, and for some kind of relationship to come out of it. I would have preferred it be a loved one, because it's time for that in my life. But there's two people involved, and so I'm like upset right now because this happened yesterday, but I'm actually a lot better. I've done a lot of meditating, a lot more praying and talking to spirit to just kind of get me through this, because it's kind of a big disappointment the way it worked out. But the object of my affection, actually, I got to meet them just like I wanted to, and the conversation was easy. It didn't feel like work. I didn't have to try. I didn't feel like I was being interrogated or questioned by an examiner like I usually have been when people have been approaching me online. And that's just not gone well. So this time it was, and it was good. But then I don't know why they decided to test me, and they decided to test me at something I can totally do. But I was confused that after I explained how we came together, we didn't get together, but how we came to be having these conversations with one another. I know I explained that I prayed for it to happen specifically with them, and then it happened. And so what more do you need? But then they don't want to test me. And I was like, I was in resistance to it, and I don't know if that's why it screwed up, but they wanted to know what feelings I got from a photograph, and I'm still not real sure what they wanted, because I felt like what they seemed to be asking had already been established by virtue of our coming together the way it did. So I doubted myself and didn't answer like what came to mind first, because I felt like it would be inappropriate, because I thought things were going one way, and then they seemed to express some doubt or something when they all of a sudden were testing me. And things changed. Like, they were one way before the test and very open and saying much of the same stuff that I'd been saying. Like, both of us are seeking our person, and they think they have this unique situation from everyone else because they have a level of fame greater than I do and get more attention. And, you know, when they go out in public, people know their name. They don't realize I also have that. It's on a smaller scale for sure. But that aside, like, screw being known for something. I've become a nutball magnet. Nutball magnet. Nutball magnet. I have just been getting a lot of attention from people that want something from you, but then it's like, no, this is not right. You're not going to get what you want from me. And so, and this is not new. This has been happening for years. So that's kind of like an illusion that this person gave themselves. And I also illustrated a number of times that I was someone that they could trust. And that wasn't enough either. So that just didn't pan out. It's very disappointing. And I'm like, well, did I do that? And I don't know. I maybe it was his doubt, because I should have just said what was on my mind and win or lose, because that's what I was thinking is what tanked things. But actually, now that I'm talking it out, the way that he just sort of defied God's will, kind of, that might have been the thing that screwed it up, because it wasn't that he, like, said goodbye altogether and dismissed me completely. It was that he, like, downgraded my status and still wanted me to, like, be around. And that's like, I also deleted my Twitter account, which is where they contacted me back from, that started this whole thing rolling, because it's not just them. Like, that's one of the places where I'm experiencing all these people coming at me that are like not, I don't know, they're just not it for me. And I mean, I guess I should appreciate that they still wanted to talk to me, but here's the thing about that doesn't work for me. And it's also why I deleted my Twitter account. It's not just because of this person and this experience. It's because, again and again, it is brought to my attention how much I give as far as showing, you know, attention to people's accounts, liking their stuff, retweeting it, sharing it. And I also have stuff that I put out, and I don't get that same... I don't get very many likes or shares on my stuff, and I work really hard on it. But I also feel like my time will come, just like with what happened with this person. I have faith in my abilities. I know what my value is, and all I can say is that the situation with me and that person could have bloomed and developed into so many things, but before finding out what I'm really about, they told themselves a story and just sort of stunk up the whole deal. So that is what I was upset about, partially. The other part is at the same time, concurrently while this was happening, I was being approached by, well, two other people, actually. And they're both, like, all three of these people are actually who they purported to be. Like, I was able to find out. The other person was sort of like me, like older, single. Well, actually, they're not single. They claim to be in a divorce, but they neglected to mention the wife or the divorce or a lot of things. Like, they just didn't answer questions, and that's like, what? No. What do you think? You can just say stuff to me, but you can ignore me? The hell is wrong with you? But I know that you can't just go on an initial impression about someone and think that's the entirety of them or the situation. So I went back and forth with this person, and we spent time talking, and some plans were made, but they kept turning into poop because this person had been burned by people, as they put it, wanting their fame and money. And I had to keep pointing out, I did not reach out to you. You came to me. So, and I didn't ever ask them for anything. In fact, I gave them more than I should have, that's for sure. But easy come, easy go, I guess. That person, the reason why I even was giving them my attention was because they seem to want the same things that I do in a relationship, that any that I've had have just been missing these elements. And so it seemed like with this older person it might be okay, but then like all of the stuff about the not answering the questions and the story with the spouse, and also they like wanted me to know that they could trust me, and that I wasn't going to betray them. And I just, like sort of made this discovery myself. But when someone starts out talking about the bad stuff first, that's what they're bringing. So I did try to give them the benefit of the doubt, because I thought like maybe this was an opportunity for us to heal each other. But I think they're just too used to having everything instantly because of their fame and wealth level. Like yes people all around, and I'm obstinate and contrary about that kind of thing, because I'm not your subordinate, famous person or rich person. I got a lot going on too. I have a lot of value, and if you don't appreciate it when it's there, you're lost. That's all I can say. I'm not gonna disparage any of these people, except to say that the one that I didn't have the easy flow with, that was older and I already had reservations for, I doubted this person all along until I was able to establish the reality of who they actually were. And that's because since 2015 I've been dealing with a bunch of phony people posing as something other than what they're saying they are. So now I'm distrustful and wary, but I'm also still willing to try to like possibly expose myself to pain and injury to see if there's something there, because we all have trust issues. I have not met anyone that doesn't have them, and I don't know. I'm just more willing to put aside my ego to find things out, I guess. And if that's like in the way, your ego, and you're thinking that you're better or more than someone else, that's interfering with the connection that could be happening. And it didn't work out with this other person either because of the things that I said, but there were just so many red flags. And they both did this thing though, and I wonder if it's not a famous thing where they think they can just say stuff and it's erased like Etch-a-Sketch, and then come back and say, I didn't say that, and then I can, because we're online, scroll back and go, excuse me, you absolutely did say this. What the hell are you talking about? Get it? Don't get it twisted. So, I mean, we all got like egos and things and ideas and whatever that are motivating us to act certain ways or just to think certain things. But the main thing to recall, to remember is nobody's making us feel things. Nobody's making us do anything. If we're interacting with someone and something within us gets triggered, there's a lot of reasons why something like that could happen. But when that's the case, that's not the other person's fault. Like we forget that when we're in some kind of interaction and maybe one of us gets hurt, we forget that it's not just all about what the other person did to us. There's a two-way communication happening. There's a energy exchange. So you're part of you're the common denominator in the things that work and don't work. And boy, we love to just not take responsibility for stuff and blame people. But no one can make us feel or do stuff that we don't intend to do. So I know that's a hard one. I struggle with it a little bit myself, but I know it's the truth. So later, after I cooled off slightly, I'm still kind of like, you might be able to tell, I'm still kind of inflamed about this. But I did pull some cards because I wanted to know what the hell's up with me. And I ended up pulling out 2 cards from the shaman. Oops. This one. Just 2 came out together. So the first one I pulled was number 55, which is numerologically 10. And 10 breaks down to 1, and 1 is the almighty, 1 is the master number. It's the be-all, end-all. Did my music go off? Oh, that's right. I can't play music while I'm doing this. So, the farther gate, and the subtitle is Bold Step Forward. Well, here's what the card looks like. And it looks like you are coming through this waterway into you're coming from somewhere, and this is like you know, the light at the end of the tunnel. You made it home, and I guess after going through quite a bit, like gosh, who was the mythological figure that would go on these wars and boat trips and be gone for 7 years and things? How did relationships work then? Well, a lot of people had affairs, is how. But I can't think of the name of the person. It's a mythological figure. I'll try and look it up if I can remember a name, and I'll add it in the keep wanting to call it the collection box. My channel turned into church. The information box. But I feel like when I look at this, I feel like I've gone through some trials and tribulations, and nothing looks better or brighter than home. Home and the people you know and love, and where, you know, you can expect certain things, and it's going to be that way, and it's love, and it's happiness, and it's comfort, and it's security. But it's also that you're coming back, having gone through all of this stuff, a completely different person. So that's, I guess, part of that experience of travel and putting some time between yourself and your significant other, family, friends, whatever it is that you have left at home. And so, like what happened to me, you know, it's like it was this huge deal to me, and then I guess the lesson is everything can be so grand and still come tumbling down in a mess anyway about my thing. But let me go further here and read what the guidebook has to say about the farther gate. The next experience, legacy, evolving, bold step forward. When the farther gate card shows up, it is a clear call. It is a clear call to lift your eyes to the horizon and begin to walk toward your future. You are marching in place right now, stirring the dust but not getting anywhere. That kind of rings true for me right now. Like, I just keep going, keep trying and failing like a, I don't know, trying and failing machine. But they say all of the failures lead to greatness, so this shit better be pretty great, because I've been failing for years. I've been banking them failures. I better have huge... I don't need fame and fortune. I just want simple things. I want to be accepted as I am, not as I'm expected. Because you, as a stranger, only if you are attracted, see the surface, or online see me from the neck up, but there's so much more going on. Anyway, they're missing out. It's their loss. But I wish it wasn't. I wish that it was something I was sharing with that person, because that was the intention in the first place. Okay, now I'm drifting back into my crap again. See, this is why I didn't want to do this earlier, but here we go. I gotta, like, get it out of me, or I'm never gonna be able to do this clean. So, and it's probably instructive for you to see and hear what I'm going through, which is why I'm doing this. So, okay, can I start reading now? Okay. Trust that your forward movement will lead you to a new destination you've already set for yourself. Well, I did try that. It, like, kind of worked. But perhaps forgotten or neglected because of your everyday busyness. The farther gate comes to tell you that an ending is at hand. Boy, a beginning and an ending all in one freaking day. I mean, I feel like I've been power slapped by the universe upside the head. Trust that your forward movement will lead you to a new destination you have already set for yourself, but perhaps forgotten or neglected because of your everyday busyness. The farther gate comes to tell you that an ending is at hand and that you can leave the old behind. Let it peel away an old skin you shed. Do not hesitate. Cross the threshold boldly, and you will be rewarded. Okay, I'm not sure how much bolder my stepping has to get. I guess I gotta expand my mind and figure that out too. My vision is just not that great right now. If you continue marking time instead of moving, you will miss the opportunity. The gate is open. The next landscape of your life is within reach, but the window of time to pass through it grows shorter. Do not dally. A gift of the farther gate is to bring you to the fullest expression of your gifts, perhaps for the first time. It is an invitation to a sacred passage, to a new discovery, and both challenges and opportunities. It is not a graduation. There are no rewards other than the exploration itself. Well, I still want my frickin' cookie. You have been a farmer for too long, tilling the hard soil that now bears little fruit for you. Time to put on the explorer hat again. I suppose, but I feel a little ill and uninspired and unmotivated to do that. But maybe I'm just too fresh and raw. The second card I pulled from the same deck was number 5. Breaks down to 8. Lost Compass. And it says, getting back to integrity. Well, I've been trying to keep mine intact the whole time. I didn't say in the moment what I was feeling about that picture, but I said plenty of other times what my feelings were, and I was not unclear, so I don't know what the hell that's about, but if this lost compass is my lost compass, then yeah, it's certainly like dropped it on the floor in stunned what? What's more than stunned? In stunned shock, stunned surprise, whatever. Stunned plus, I was stunned. Like, how did it go so far this great one way and then, wow, just like take a left turn into Poop Town? Like, what? I don't know. I mean, if my compass was lost, it was at that point, but I sure just picked it right back up again because, you know, that person, they like to dispense, I guess, what they thought were wise words to me, as if they were speaking to someone that had no introduction to any of it, which I don't understand why they would do that. Like, talk to me like I needed. They offered to introduce me to certain things to protect myself in certain situations, and since I don't put myself in those situations very often, unless I just walk into somewhere and it's bad, but I don't do it for a job, and I also access spirit and all of the other stuff out there in the universe that's intangible and invisible without going to the location. Like, I don't need to. Like, I don't need to do that. I can do stuff remotely. And I just wonder, again, if it wasn't me that dropped the ball here. Because what I started to say was, this person is always dispensing these little bits of, you know, quotations and things, but it's like, I don't need you to do that. That was not the type of guidance I wanted from you, and I don't know why. It was like they had already just shifted from what they were saying before to turning into a bot, basically, and that to me is like, they took their compass and threw it out the window. Like, how? I'm just stunned, because this person, like, wears a cross and asks my religion, and God this is their pilot and their boss and all of this. God brought us together. What? Do you not recognize that this is this God person you're always talking about? We're all God. We're all a bit of God. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm still mad. Like I said, this just happened like hours ago, and mad. I was really trying to move away from that emotion, but like, I am mad. Like, how could you just throw that away? Like, what? That sounds to me like somebody lost their compass, got all up in their ego, got all scared. Like, we both did it, but I wasn't gonna throw everything away until, you know, they like came down and said, well, look, I'm this and that, and, you know, so you can't do that with me, about me, like to turn off my feelings. And I ain't care for that. It's not their prerogative, and I don't particularly do well with being given orders, especially when I'm already like moving further and further into a state of resentment over this treatment that I've been given by this person. So this compass, you know, it's really lit up. Like, it's fiery with the golden white light of spirit, because it's more than just like an object. This is always metaphorical, but it's a spirit totem that you can carry around, much like you would like a medicine bag around your neck, but this is a spirit totem, so it's not a solid item. Just like with all matters of spirit, it's something you have to visualize inside your mind and your heart and put your faith in it and believe that the light that's coming out of it is the light that is there for you to see and guide your way, and that's why it's a compass. And your way in life, your way with interacting with other people, your way in relationships. We all need to check our bearings occasionally, because we will get upset and go into emotions that'll take the relationship places, you know, like if you want it to work, you don't want it to go to those places. And so you want to feed it. You want to nurture it so that it can further grow and bear fruit. And if you lose your compass, none of those things are going to happen. So, drifting back to integrity. Well, like I was just saying, something happened with this test. And I felt it, like, even before I went back and said what I saw, what I went back and said, because I didn't say what I saw, because I got chicken. I did. But, it was then that, like, because, like, I didn't, like, rise up to meet the challenge, so they were just like, oh, forget it. And that makes me sad, because I have done this. I have, like, been like, okay, forget it, they're gone. And my loss, because I didn't bother to look more closely and see what potentials were there. And so now I feel like I'm in that position, probably because I've done it to other people so many times, which is interesting, because one of the discussions I had with this person was how right now we don't have to die and reincarnate to have knowledge and remember how we are, who we are, and what how powerful we are. We can actually, like, kind of go through this assessment process of our acts in life and our affect in others on life through our acts. And, you know, it's really up to us to drive and make sure that our acts don't cause injury to other people as much as we possibly can. I mean, we're here because of prior contractual agreements. There are certain things that we're here to do, and they're not mutable. They're cardinal points, so they can't be changed. Like, they have to happen. No matter how they work out, they still have to happen. So how they work out depends on us. But it used to be that, you know, you'd have to die, and then when you reincarnated, you come back like whoever you were plus. You get more add-ons. Now we don't have to wait. We don't have to die to get the add-ons. We can do the work here and now. And that means probably not just making a super fast decision and cutting off potentials. So I'm going to read this lost compass part in the guidebook. Getting back to integrity, finding the way home, trusting intuition. God, I should have trusted my intuition. When the lost compass appears, it is a sign that you need to find your way back home, back to your source and center, relying on your intuition to arrive there. Be wary of the signs telling you to turn here or there, or to avoid this or that person or situation, because the outward indicators are not reliable right now. Be careful not to believe all of the advice you are receiving. Rely instead on your innate sense of direction and guidance, and use your homing instinct to lead you true. The lost compass has come to show you that you need to find new counselors. You are not getting the mentoring you need for your success. Who is this person you are looking up to as a model for what it means to be a woman or man? Trash that ideal. Tear up a picture you carry in your mind. You are meant to be you, not the best copy of your dearest friend. Make your mantra, love me or leave me. Well, I don't have to do that. People already know how to do that. That's been my experience. They decide they don't love me, so they leave. They don't need instructions. I mean, they need instructions, but not on that. The lost compass is a blessing in disguise, because you sometimes have to lose your bearings and find yourself afresh to discover a new course. True north never changes, so reset your way to the heart compass and trust your deepest feelings, even when others do not support them. Remember that you are not lost. You simply do not know where you are going right now. Lost is a state of mind. Not knowing where you are going is an opportunity to find a new path. Well, I can't disagree with any of that. So basically, those instructions that he gave about how to stay on your path and stay true to yourself, that's what I've been doing. Like, I spent a lot of time, years, learning how to make that mean something to myself and the situation, make it mean something to the reality. And now it does, and I do those things. Sometimes I mess up, sometimes I fail to do some part or other, but generally I am like doing well. I mean, hello, I like prayed this experience into existence. That's not nothing. I can't believe that. So I also pulled a card from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, and I'm going to read from the guidebook about it. Let me find the page that this card is on. Oh, that's not it. It is the elephant. And just give me a second here. See, I know I'm feeling off now because earlier when I'm tuned in right, I go right to the thing. Like earlier I picked this book up to look up this card, and it plopped right open to the page. So I'm not like in my best state of mind for that type of thing right now. I'll move out of it, and I hope it's just because I'm talking about this stuff that's like fuzzing up my energy. But anyway, I want to point out a few things about this card. Like, elephants have a tribal matriarchal system that they live by. But I don't think the females have tusks, so this is a man, or a man, this is a malephant. And you can see that this guy has been through some stuff. You can see that something happened to one of his tusks. So what started to come out was somebody tried to relieve him of it, and I'm thinking he probably did one of these and gored him with the other tusk and escaped. Something happened that they were able to escape. They must have... I don't know a lot about elephant hunting, only what I've read in books, but I believe they don't do it like just one person. I think it takes a team to actually bring one down. Horrible imagery. So, I feel like this guy has been through a lot, and you can see that it's got fire that it's carrying in its trunk. There's a Led Zeppelin song that I really love called Carry Fire, and I always think of that when I see this, and I don't know that my association is the same that Robert Plant lyricized in the song, but for me it's just like, it's probably unhealthy now that I think of it, but I'll tell you what it is. To carry fire for other people, for me, is to carry their weight. You know, carry their heart when it gets heavy. To be on their six, watching their back. To be loyal. To be as honest as possibly possible. I don't know anyone that's 100% honest. But, these animals are very deeply rooted in their familial connections. I mean, each other is all they have, and then there's their life in the world they live in, so where they have to spend I mean, they're so big and they have to eat so much and they have to spend so much time finding and consuming the food they need for their daily nutritional requirements. I would say that it's stressful because if I, not an elephant, had that was my worry, I would probably find a way to stress out. That's terrible. There's no reason I should feel any kind of stress because look at where they live. Wide open, all sky everywhere for the most part. I just hope the world isn't shrinking so much for them that they can't survive in their natural state. That would be a tragedy because they've already taken such a beating. More fire for the carrying. They are like the rest of everything, everywhere on the world. We are here to provide some sort of reflection of ourselves, some sort of contrast, to be the other players in all of the scenarios that will run throughout our lifetimes. But these creatures have it so much simpler. Their biggest problem is probably us, not predators. They've had, my gosh, hundreds of millions of years to learn how to deal with that. And sometimes you lose people, but someone's always also being born. It's that circle of life thing again, but it's 100% true. So you might look at this picture and think, dang, that's a messed up, wounded elephant. And, you know, they're just in the dark, and the only thing that's lighting up their life is this fire they're carrying around, which is as much everybody else's stuff as their own. Apparently animals also have a third eye, which makes sense. They are much more closely in contact with spirit through that orifice. And the fact that they just live their lives as intended, following their instincts, which I guess is not one of those things that we humans are expected to do or something. Like, we have that difference thing where we think it's makes us so special and unique, and that we're like the smartest. I don't know why this is a plus. The smartest and most dangerous predator. I don't want to be known for being dangerous and a predator. I want the opposite. Anything but those things. But that's kind of the way a lot of people think things should be. I disagree, but you know, no one's out there like hanging off on the edge of their seat waiting to hear my opinion, but you get to have it anyway, just in case. So there you go. There's a card read from yesterday, sort of. I'm just gonna put it up though, just as a card read, and I intend to do another later because it is a new day, even though it's still very much nighttime. Oh no, sun's coming out. I take it back. What time is it? 5 a.m. 5:39. Okay, so whoa. I must say I feel better. I did write a word piece. It has some similarities to what I was saying here, but like I was telling this person that has decided they don't want to have me in their life, I find that my voice here is a lot different than my voice on paper. So this is going to have some differences, you know, if you're going to compare the two. I'm glad I did it. I actually feel better now out of all of the other things that I did, but I guess it's kind of like a pot that boils over, you know. It just took a really long time for it to settle back down and stop spilling over the edges. Crazy spraying. Thank you and good night.